staff. You guys, let's shoot her an emoji or something, some heart emoji, something for Lay, our back office support. And the reason that I'm saying that is because uh, you learn to appreciate what they do when you're running late one day for a meeting that you're hosting, and they already opened up the call and got the music started. Last night I was at the office, and we were having some technical difficulties getting things moving and grooving. And I always forget now that we're zooming now from the office, and somebody had to remind me again, like, what about the Zoom people? And I opened up the Zoom, right? And Lay was already on there with the music, and nobody felt my pressure, on the other end. And I was super, super appreciative. So, Lay, thank you for all that you do for us. But you guys, happy Friday. I hope that everybody's staying, safe because of the weather. I hope that everybody's staying warm, taking it easy from a standpoint of safety. Okay. I'm hearing about black ice and inches of snow and stuff like that. I don't know, but we're expecting snow here in Texas for the next 3 days. So we're also being very careful. We actually have a Super Saturday event that we typically host every last Saturday down here at the Richardson Hub, but we are not going to be having it, right? Are dangerous in the summertime, right, Hans? So imagine driving in Texas in the snow. It's dangerous to drive out here on a regular day. So, in the snow, it's just like stay home, please. All right. When you're driving in Texas, man, it's just like Hail Mary before you leave, all that stuff. Because you could just be going to Walmart and it's very dangerous out there. So I want to start this call off, you guys. Super excited as always. It's Friday. We're coming off of a nice run as a team, but we got about a week left, you guys, in January. And I love that because I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but earlier in the week, I thought that this was kind of like the last week of January for some reason. Seemed like January was just long for me. And I looked up and I was like, wow, we got like a whole nother week to go hard, right? In January and really, really open up this month with some intention and really close out strong. So I want to kind of continue where we left off. Hey, Miss Nandy, good to see your face on the screen. That's what's up. Uh, but I really want to continue this call off from where we ended yesterday. We had a lot of activity, as I mentioned, and it was so many people to highlight that I really, really could not get everybody on. But before we do, I want to make one little announcement. Um, Next week, you guys don't forget, we're going to be starting our pod meeting on Wednesday, not Monday. So please make note of that. All right. I know we're going to get emails, leaders. Somebody's going to say, I'm on the call. Where's everybody at? Stuff like that. So just get prepared. But at the same time, be kind, be gentle, be considerate, and just love people into success. And the call, you guys, is going to be Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. So we will be kind of back to back. So we'll be right. But watch this though. I thought about this, Kim, yesterday, very long and hard. And I was like, you know what? This might help our $1 million baby call, right? Because how you gonna hop off the pod meeting and then not go to the $1 million baby call? Is right after. It's right after, right? So now you might as well just stay locked in, join the $1 million baby call, build for the $1 million baby call because it's gonna be back to back now. So it's gonna be 7 right to 8:30. We on the pod meeting. 8:30, we jumping right into $1 million baby. All right. So that's going to be starting now. Will this possibly change in the future? Yes. Okay. You guys, the road to success is always under construction. There's a lot of leaders working on a lot of stuff in the background, and you guys have some of the best leaders on this team. And when I say leaders, I'm talking about Hans Augustine, Kim Howard, Marlena Smith, Princess Map, they're in the background of this team, always trying to make things better for you guys. Okay. I'm talking about sacrificing money in the whole nine. They're investing money. Okay. Not just to enhance their own business, but to enhance our business in our community. And so, I'm super excited about what 2026 is going to bring out of all of us. So that's number one. Number two, getting started right on Fridays will go from 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock, starting next week. All right. Because we want to end the training as early as possible. Right. So on Friday, instead of pushing that getting started right out to 1 o'clock, and the only reason that it was 1 o'clock was because at one point in time, there was a Friday, and I had to make that pivot, but that leadership meeting is no longer happening. So I can move it back to 12 o'clock. All right. So we got the pod meeting next week is going to be happening at Wednesday, you guys, 7 o'clock Central. That's 5 o'clock PST. That is 8 o'clock EST Wednesdays moving forward. Then we have the Getting Started Right. It's going from 1 to 12, right? Those of you who don't know what the Getting Started Right is, I suggest you come. It is the ultimate training to building your business. It's giving you a blueprint on how to launch not only your business, but someone else's business with a system, okay? We say the same stuff all the time, the same way, because we want to build a duplicatable business. All right. Then on Thursday nights, starting next week, our brother Hans Augustin is going to be doing his wealth showdown. Okay. Life insurance versus real estate is going to be happening on Thursday nights now. Okay. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys know people in the real estate space, watch this though. This is what's cool about real estate in the real estate community. I just got invited to another real estate event where this young lady who's a broker, the actual broker of one of the biggest Keller Williams offices here in Dallas, Texas, said none of my agents have any retirement. Can you come down and do a presentation and teach us on how to structure plans, policies, and things of that nature so that we can have a retirement plan, right? And so can't wait to do that. I'll be doing it at the end of February. But the real estate community, you guys, is wide open for both recruits and for business. Okay. So it's a huge market. And one of the reasons that Hans and I were kind of masterminding that, way early last year was because we understood that Hans is in that community a lot. Okay. He's a part of communities like NARAB. All right. These are they have chapters all over the country. In fact, Hans, the one that I was telling you about the other day, it's over 100 years old, right? Martin Luther King was actually a part of this NARAB community of realtors out here in DeSoto, Texas, right? So they got a lot of history. You can come to these communities, you guys, and you can get grandfathered in. You just become a member, right? And that's what we all about, right? We're all about community-driven events, but getting into communities with shakers and movers. I was a part. I went to that NARAB event with my father. My father's a real estate agent, okay, out here in Texas still, and he brought me down to that, and as a guest. And they want me to become a member. I'm not even a real estate agent, but they want me to become a member because they want everybody to bring value. They understand that everybody brings value, right? And so that being said, you guys, those are the 3 changes on our calendar so far. Last thing I want to say from a standpoint is our book of the month for February. I hope you guys listen to what the Rockefellers do. I know we didn't do a lot of training on it, but here's the thing. It's a great book. If you didn't have it in your repertoire, the What Would the Rockefellers Do was a great book. I hope you guys go back and read it if you haven't read it yet. But at the same time, next month, we are going to be reading a book called The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Anybody ever heard of that book? Infinite Game, Infinite Leadership. It's an amazing book on leadership. an amazing book on leadership. So we'll be posting it. If those of you who want to get it early, go ahead and get it early, get it in early, right? And then we can share. We'll be doing a lot of sharing on the book of the month next month as well. All right. So with that said, hey, yesterday we were highlighting folks, and it was an amazing call. How many of you guys, by show of hands, or put a one in the chat if you got a lot of value out of yesterday's winner circle call? Everybody's still asleep. Or Mary Grace just set everybody on fire on a call before, and now everybody just like, all right. Hans got a lot of value out of the call yesterday. Kim got a lot of value out of the call yesterday. All right. Those two people. Awesome. JD. Perfect. So let's go. Stephen Taylor. So here's the thing. I want to bring up this gentleman because, he's been, moving and shaking like a rock star ever since he got here. And, yesterday I went to his training. Okay. He's a training associate and he's training because that's the spirit that he brought to the call. And you know what? You don't have to feel no kind of way about that because you could be doing the same thing. There's nothing stopping anybody from being in the front of the room in this community. This community is about building leaders. This community is about taking people's enthusiasm, taking people's belief, and giving it a platform. Okay. And that's why this community is so special. This community is so unique. And so, Mr. Stephen Taylor, congratulations. Let's give him a round of applause, by the way. Let's shoot him some love. Come on, you guys. Let's shoot him some love, some heart emojis or something, right? This gentleman just recruited another person yesterday out of Austin, Texas, okay? Leveraging the LinkedIn system and a three-way call with a leader. Okay. And what's very, very unique about what this gentleman is doing, it is very, very, reminiscent of how SUNY Samaj started. When I first got started, I wasn't selling a lot of policies in OIC. Mary Grace will tell you, right? My first 90 days, I had more team than I had money. I had more team than I had policies, but I was building something. Right? Mary Grace had a great analogy where she talked about skyscrapers on her call, right? And I always talk about how when you look at the metropolitan areas where you live and you see them big gates built downtown and then they plaster it with that blue sheet or that orange sheet, and all you see is a tractor trailer and a big construction thing. They're building a foundation. And they take about 3 months to build this foundation. And before you know it, this big building gets erected. Anybody ever been driving downtown and then all of a sudden you be like, oh, that building is up, right? Like, oh my God, where did that come from? But behind that veil, they were building and digging that deep, deep foundation. That's exactly what this gentleman, Stephen Taylor, is doing. And I promise you guys, those of you who want to be big builders, make a study of what this gentleman is doing. I promise you, a year from now, this gentleman is going to have one of the biggest teams in OIC. And everybody's going to be like, what did you do, Mr. Taylor? Oh my God, Mr. Taylor, I want to come to your training. Mr. Taylor, what did you do? And they're going to act like he did something so different than what we've been saying doing. He's going to be like LinkedIn, three-way calls. That's what I did. I just bought into it. I just sold out to it. And I believed it. I injected a little belief into it, right? And so, Mr. Stephen Taylor, if you can give us, a brief description on just kind of how did you get this new recruit? Where are they from? Right. And what does that look like for you right now? What are you working on? Because I know you got 3, 3, and 8 that you're working on, becoming an associate. Talk to us about it, brother.
Brother, I'm so always happy to share. And yes, you are exactly right. You instilled the belief in me. Um, Hans Augustine instilled belief in me. James Clark instilled belief in me when he reached out with LinkedIn, and it wasn't even as polished as our reach out uh, texts are now. But I just, I mean, number one, I'll be very open. Number one, it was God ordained. There's no question in my mind about that. Because he proves it every day. But it was a belief system, and as you saw on the training yesterday, I stole some of your slides. I borrowed them, but the belief. I mean, that's the first prerequisite, and it's exactly what was instilled in me, and I'm always wanting to improve that LinkedIn training because I want more and more and more and more and more people to start doing the Infinite Eight, and it blesses me and makes me feel good to see everyone, all the people who I hadn't seen using 3, 3, and 8, using the LinkedIn on our chat. So that lets me know that other people are buying in, and if we can just duplicate that, make everybody else though that kind of a believer, then I think it'll work. Um, but I, soon as Mary Grace started her training today, I shot her a text. Hey, I got to have those slides. They fit perfectly with my LinkedIn. I mean, I've got to do that. But um, this is my fifth recruit, and I mean, I thank the Lord for it. But it was from LinkedIn. It was from LinkedIn. When I was going through to connect with people, I saw Marilyn Granado, uh, Master of Education, out from her name. I briefly looked. Honestly, I didn't see GFI. I just saw the teacher. So when I sent it, it was almost an immediate response. It was almost an immediate response. And so my first thought was, this has to be Gabe. This has got to be Gabe because I saw Austin, Texas. Um, I don't know that I could find Austin, Texas if I were to drive in the car from Tennessee to Texas, but GPS would take me there. But I knew that I had to get Gabe. And from meeting Gabe in person at that live event in Nashville and in Atlanta, it built that belief in me and that relationship with Gabe. He said, anything I can ever do, and I want you to know I'm here, bro. And he put me in his phone, and I put him in my phone. And so when I called him, it was like, absolutely. And so here's the way that went. Monday, I had a three-way call with Gabe. And now his three-way call was a little different than the way we do ours, but he shared his story. That three-way call, all he did was just share his story about how what happened to him. That led to a Zoom on Tuesday, and he talked a little more about the nuts and bolts and things. And he left it with enough interest tweaked that she said, "Can we do another Zoom tomorrow?" And so that was Wednesday. And so when we did it Wednesday, it was like she's like totally ready. And she said, "There's one thing I'd like to know. Could I possibly look at the see a copy of the associate agreement?" I didn't care to send it to her. I sent it to her because Gabe would said, "You'll sign the same associate agreement that I did." She's with GFI. I don't know. She's not been there long enough. She was just licensed in July. She's not been there long enough to develop any habits. But so I said, sure, I want you to do that. She looked at it. She said, but let's schedule the onboarding for tomorrow, which was yesterday. And when she was on, she was like, I'm all ready to go. I'm ready. My husband, who by the way, um, works in the pre-need, he's a pre-need funeral sales company underwriter. So that had something in common with me, and I'm going to be saying, hey, you need to bring your husband into business. But anyway, it was just through the LinkedIn. So today at 12:30 Eastern, I have a back office walkthrough with her, and then I already have her scheduled for Monday with the game plan with Hans Augustin, and then today I have three-way call with a young man in Connecticut at 2:30. I have a New York Life agent who said, I'm very interested in the teachers in public schools and the non-captive. He is in Chino Hills, California, or Chino, California. Y'all know where that is. I don't have a clue. But so, I mean, my calendar is full, and yes, sir. You and I work the same path. I didn't write a lot of business, but I submitted almost 5,000 points the other day, and
Let's go, Mr.
and
Stephen Taylor.
and I'm getting closer. I am getting closer. So I'm going to continue to do it, and so we're going to build. I mean, from
Let's go, brother.
right here in little old Churchill,
Let's
Tennessee, I have
go,
a
brother. Let's
nationwide,
go. Let's
nationwide.
go, brother.
So
Hey man, let's
work
Let's
the
show
go,
him
system.
Stephen
some
Taylor.
love. Let's show some love for Mr. the youngest man in OIC, man. You know, I used to call
Stephen Taylor.
George the youngest man in OIC, but I think you got him beat, and I
Yes,
don't
sir.
mean that, and I don't mean that by physical age. I mean just energy and enthusiasm, man. George, George will walk and talk you in circles. You know what I'm saying? But I think you might got him beat, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, we're gonna play off each other.
I can't wait for y'all to get together and do a training, man. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir,
saying?
buddy.
Because
Oh,
that's gonna
that's a
be
great
amazing.
idea. That's a
Yeah, that's
great
gonna be
idea.
amazing, man.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Mary Grace and I had the opportunity to have a conversation yesterday, and we were talking about, her aunt who's 80, what, three. She's looking to join a business, you guys. 83 years old, looking to join a business. That's crazy. But she got 30 million somewhere. She just rolled over a whole bunch of money. She move and groove, walk and talk like she's still in her 20s. And if you look at this industry, okay, pre-COVID, this was a older, you know, demographic. This industry. This industry was ran by 65 and up. This industry just got younger, okay, after COVID. Okay. And that's where a lot of the gatekeeping took place, right? It was a lot of gatekeeping. It was like, hey, why would I let y'all in? Y'all gonna mess this up for us, kind of a thing, right? Y'all gonna be TikToking and Instagramming, and we can't keep up, we can't keep up with that, right? And so, but evolution, I always say evolution sets people free. So listen, congratulations. But so what I hear you saying, Mr. Taylor, is that you're a stone's throw away from your associate of promotion, right? 3,000 points. We're gonna
Absolutely.
get it wrapped. We're gonna get it wrapped up this month.
We're gonna get it wrapped up, brother.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm
Let's
I'm
go.
going hard with it. Going
Let's
hard with it.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Right. Let's go. Absolutely. And is it safe to say that if you can hit associate, you can teach three other people how to get there?
Absolutely.
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 Right. And that's just kind of how simple this thing is, right? So I go
S
3, 3,
Y
and 8.
S T E M.
Yeah. Look, I go
System.
3, 3, and 8. Okay. Watch this. And then I just teach three people how to do exactly what I did. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden I'm a field director, right? And then I teach three more people how to do what I just did. And all of a sudden I'm a business director, right? It's that simple. It's that simple, you guys. We make this thing complicated. And that's why we keep coming to the calls to uncomplicate it. So I love, love, love what you're doing, brother. And I look forward to, seeing that paperwork go through the back office for your
Thank
promotion.
you, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
congratulations, man. Let's show this
Thank
gentleman,
you.
this young man, some love. The next person, or a couple of people that I want to bring up, is our sister, our prayer warrior, Miss Kimberly Howard. Yesterday we have a standing meeting, and I knew she was gonna cancel because whenever she got activity, she'd be like, "Can we reschedule? I'm in the field." she don't play about her coins, man. When it's some money on the line, she like, "Look, we gonna do this next week, right?" But I love it. I love it. And she was like, I got to get out in the field. I got to get out in the field with my team. And yesterday, not only was she out in the field with her team, but her team, okay, embraced JD, okay, because they're within proximity, and JD, right, was adopted. And I seen that big old smile on JD's face. in that picture, it warmed my heart. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, man, this is a beautiful community that we have, and JD was able to go to, some school events with Kim and Dexter and Gene, and I believe, right, they got some events, right? So I'm gonna ask, Miss Kim, our EP, to open up and just kind of share, about what happened yesterday. JD, if you are open as well, brother, we love to kind of get the story behind the story. Like what happened yesterday? Where were you guys at? How did that come about, right? It's on you, Kim.
Good morning, Supreme family.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yes. Yes, I mean, yesterday we went out on visits, but we also like kind of fellowship before, strategize at a local cafe, which is going to be our new spot to like,
Mm-hmm.
really, because I feel like in person is so important, right? Sometimes we're all on the Zoom and sometimes we feel like we're doing this business by ourselves. But I encourage if you have team members that are close in proximity to really get together because then that helps build the momentum again, right? So
Yes.
yesterday, my goal was actually because some schools are closing in Vallejo, and I'm like, hey, we need to head up these schools. I just saw opportunity because hey, a lot of these teachers are going to get laid off and they need help. They need our help. So I invited JD to come along with us because he was like, hey, I want, I'm a hands on, like, I want to see how it works, right? And, when we first started the school space, like, we went in groups, right? And that's what helped us to get and do things on our own is because we have that support within the group. So JD yesterday, he was like, "No, I want to watch it," and we're like, "No, no, you're gonna do the next one." So he's like,
That's
"We
what's up.
got you, we got you, but you gonna do the next one so you can just get comfortable." But yes, I want to bring JD on because he was willing. He was a trooper yesterday. I'm like, I hope we didn't scare you
Yeah.
yesterday, but because we a special little crowd,
Yes,
but
yes, ma'am.
yes, I mean, and we got to think like this, right? I'm like, I told JD, like, hey, even though you're not direct to me, we are all a team, right? And the mission in OIC is really to build OIC, right? And being like an equity partner, and which everyone it will be, is like we have to think of how can we build people in our area. So Mr. Hans Augustin and Stephen Taylor actually uh, text me when JD came on board to help them, and it's my duty to help and serve the platform, right? Like we are all one team. We're just not, this is Kim's team or anything like that. So yes,
I love that. I love that. I love that. JD Kim is he's actually in the hospital doing some labs, but he's in the chat. He said it was wonderful. He said I had to get out of my own way, right? I love that. He said I had to get out of my own way. He said I was nervous, scared to mess up, not really sure what to say, etc. Once I done 2 or 3, he said I felt so much more confident. I truly appreciate it, right? And that's leadership, you guys. That is the byproduct of leadership, right? So he got around giants. This is what I always say: when you get around giants, you guys, get around people who challenge you, get around people who tell you the uncomfortable truths, get around people who want to like keep it real with you, stretch you, and help you grow, right? Because he would not have otherwise done it had he not been around, somebody who was saying, hey, no, 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 you got this. It's on you. You go in this time, because the goal is JD and next week, next month, whatever the case may be, you'll be out in schools in your area by yourself, and we'll be looking up, and JD will be in schools with a team, with an army. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be
he's
the
going
general, man. And
today
so
actually. So he's
he's
going
going
today.
today. Let's
Yes.
go. Uh-oh. It sound like Kim got her hooks in you, brother. Like you're not about to.
Let's
It's a
go,
wrap.
JD.
It's a wrap. I love it, man. I love it, you guys. Let's give them a round of applause. applause, you guys, and some heart emojis, right? Because um, listen, this is what this community is about. Kim said something very important. She said, as a EP, in an EP state of mind, is not really about my team anymore, or just that my mentality of my team, my team. It's about our company. It's about, this community. So she said she felt like it was her responsibility as a leader to say, hey, JD, come on board. Hans Augustin, same thing out there in New Jersey, right? Equity state of mind. He's building a company. He's building the foundation of his family's future. And he's saying, hey, Mr. Samad, tell Wilhelmine, tell, Fola, tell Michelle, I got them. If they're in the proximity of me, when I'm going out on these runs and I'm being active in the communities, they can come with me. Same thing with me. I'm out here in the Richardson area, right? I don't have a big team out here in Richardson, and I'm training. I'm training so many people's teams out here. I got a little Lauren Coffey, Keith Squalls. I got some Denise Bester people. I got some, Mr. Ridley's out here with me, right? But that's what we do as leaders, you guys. We take responsibility for the platform at a higher level. And so kudos to you guys. Congratulations. You guys will be in some schools again today, I'm assuming.
Hey, Sunny. Hey, Sunny.
Yeah, so
I
we
just
look
got, I
forward to
got,
it. Absolutely,
hey,
brother.
Sunny, I just got to read what he's got. Listen, here he is. He said, excited to get out today to check out the schools on the Air Force Base and
Yeah,
possibly the barber shop. So,
absolutely. Let's go. Let's
military,
go. Let's
let's
get it
go,
done, man.
JD,
I'm
let's
looking
go.
forward to it. Getting forward to it. I seen George Ridley's ears perk up when he said Air Force, right? George Ridley took that personal. He's like, that's my territory, brother, right? But no, so listen, so the next person that I want to highlight, I'm not sure if you can come on, but Miss Fola, yesterday, and this is the importance of plugging in, right? This is the importance of making sure your people are plugged in. So you guys, we every Wednesday we're on Brian Blake's call every Wednesday morning. If you're not on Brian Blake's call, if you're looking for the team on Wednesday mornings, that's where we are. Okay. Fola was on that call. She heard something that I didn't even hear. Okay. She called me right after the call and she said, Mr. Samad, she said, what is Home Thrive? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. She said, well, I was on Mr. Brian Blake's call. She said, you wasn't on the call? I said, I was on the call. I said, I just didn't hear that part, Miss Fuller. She said, oh, she said, well, she's holding me accountable, right? So she said, you wasn't on the call? I said, no, I was on the call. I said, but I didn't hear that part, right? She said, well, there's something about the policy where the owner of a policy of a child, okay, could leverage their long-term care benefits in the event that they get sick. And she said, I want to know, right, if that's possible, because if that's the case, I need to check to see if that's on my kids' policies. And I said, well, let's call NLG. Hold on. See, three-way call. I even leverage NLG on three-way call. Let me get you on the line with NLG, right? NLG, this is me. Get her on the line. And I say, hey, so we're wondering if there's a policy. Like, what is this policy? What is this feature in the policy? And the guy says, oh, yeah. It's on all of our new FlexLife policies after October the 2025. The old FlexLife products don't have it, but the new FlexLife products definitely allow you through Home Thrive. It's built into the IUL, right? So if you get sick as an adult and you own a child policy, right, and you're the owner, okay, you could leverage the long-term care riders on that policy that you own. I said, get out of here, Mr. NLG, man. I said, so you mean to tell me, right? And I asked him a lot of different ways in He said, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Cause I was like, I'm like, we tripping. Somebody's tripping here. Okay. Like, but he was like, no, yes. And lo and behold, she was right. And Miss Fuller got off the phone with me immediately. And she said, I want to rewrite my children's policies. And she said, Mr. Samad, she said, you know, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. She said, because now think of how many people didn't qualify for coverage but have kids. And they could write policies on their children and be the benefactors of any long-term care riders on their children's policies. I said, Miss Fuller, you right? Wow, right? So Miss Fuller then wrote 2 policies on her and her children, okay? And she was like, and I want to increase it, right? Let me call my husband, right? Y'all got to work with Fuller. Fuller is so fun to work with, I'm telling you guys. I can literally be on the phone with Fuller like all day. She is one of the funniest people ever met. And we had some conversations about Donald Trump, how she loved Donald Trump because he don't let her pay taxes, all kind of stuff, right? But the whole point is, she found that loophole, okay? And, she was able to maximize it and write some business for her and her family and upgrade her policies, you guys. So let's give her a round of applause, right, for plugging in. And let's show Miss Fuller some love. I know she might be at work right now, not at work, but
That's
at her
amazing.
business,
Thank
at
you.
her business. Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, that's awesome stuff. So watch this, you guys. Now you get to go back to all the people who may not have qualified and say, hey, we have a rider on our policies that will allow you to leverage the long-term care benefits, right, of the juvenile policies that you put in place or the child policies that you put in place, okay, as the owner of those policies. Right? That's a game changer, you guys. How many of you guys have people who didn't qualify for insurance, but maybe they were just looking to get the long-term care stuff, and you can take the back door now, right? And you can say, listen, you might not have got qualified for it, but let's put your child in place, right? And then you, the event of, some sort of life changing, she said, we got to update MDB, right? And right, because that's a nugget, that's a jewel. I told Mary Grace yesterday. Mary Grace was like, what? She was like, in my case, she was like, let me go home. She was like, I'm about to rewrite my policies on my kids right now, right? And so, that was super amazing, you guys. So let's give Miss Fuller a round of applause, you guys. Let's show her some love for being plugged in, being clairvoyant. The last thing that I want to share with you guys is, the this is a pipeline business, you guys. And as you guys know, this is a personal testimony for me. I was sick, at the beginning of January. Just really, was trying to dig myself emotionally and mentally and psychologically out of the mud, of being sick. I'm always just, super active, super excited, and just kind of being bedridden for so long, it takes something out of you. And it was difficult for me this month. I'll be very honest with you guys. Like, this has been a very hard month for me. But you guys just coming here every day, the love that you guys show in Vegas, I'm still just completely blown away and feeling undeserving of so much, just love and support from you all, man. And just coming, being able to come back, you guys coming back and coming to this platform, this winner circle in our pod meetings. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I was trying to give y'all everything I had, man, when y'all got home, because I'm like, hey, I'm still a part of the team too. You know what I'm saying? Like I have some value. I was just sick for a little while, right? But I'm still here. And I went through a lot emotionally. But you know, the work that we did in December, okay, the push that we gave in December, right, came back full circle, okay. Yesterday, day before yesterday, me and Michelle Austin had put together some policies an event we did in New Jersey, okay, at $500 in premium apiece on a couple, right? But we were willing to delay the gratification, Gabriella, because they said, listen, can we do this after Christmas? I said, sure, let's just put the application in real quick, right? Y'all see how smooth that was? Sure, let's just put the application in. I'm not even gonna leave you a chance to think about it. Look, absolutely, we can wait till after December. Let's just put the application in real quick, and we can delay submission. How many of you guys know that you can submit an application but delay the initial premium? You guys realize that, right? So in the event that you're going for a promotion, right, for OIC, you can still submit that app, okay, and tell your client, yes, okay, in the back office, you can clearly say, do not submit this policy. Wait until approval from me, the agent, right, and the client. So we submitted the application, got the points from OIC, okay, Gabriella, but we didn't get paid yet from NLG, right? But on Tuesday, we had that two policies. Then me and Fola had a young lady that we were following up with since December as well. We submitted in December. And then there was some rollover business that finally hit. And I was able to call NLG guys on Tuesday and press the button on 4 policies, right? Boom, 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 right? And it's just the power of building your pipeline and pushing. If I hadn't pushed, right, for December, right, I would not have had the cash flow, right, that I'm experiencing in January. Does that make sense to you guys? Because I wasn't feeling well in January. I wasn't active in January. I wasn't pushing in January like I would normally push. But December's push was my saving grace for January, right? And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, right? Because, that's why we do what we do, and that's why we push. That's why we create these milestones for, each month, push, 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 push. So with that said, you guys, I just kind of want to share something with you guys real quick. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor. I'm going to open up my screen real quick. I
Hey,
want to share
Soon,
something.
hey,
Absolutely.
Sunny, did you say that was our back office thing that we can submit and delay the first payment?
No, it's an
Is that
NLG
our
thing.
back
So
office?
when you no. So
Oh, okay.
when you filling out the application on NLG, when you get to the payment information, you have an option of it says draft on approval, and then there's the other option, draft. I don't know what language they
Upon
use, but
agent's
basically
instruction.
upon
Upon
agent's
Yeah.
agent.
instructions. Yep. Right.
Okay.
So you could submit it and then say draft upon agent's instructions. Okay. So you can delay that first premium for your client. Okay. And so,
And we get the points.
but you get the points because it'll come back
Awesome.
through OIC, right? Yes, sir. Come on, brother. I'm talking to I knew I was talking to somebody. His
You're
wheels is
talking to
turning.
me.
He like, look, I see 3,000 points in an associate promotion, but you can pay me later. Come on,
And
Mr.
here
Stephen Taylor.
and here's part of my why as well. Here's part of my why as well. I heard that Home Thrive, but see, Maggie's health does not permit me to write an IUL on her.
Uh-huh.
I wrote my grandson Carson like in August. So
Okay.
now I'm able to tell Maggie, look, sweetheart, I've got some way that if you need long-term care, we can do it. So
Absolutely, brother.
a
Absolutely.
blessing.
Amazing,
What a
man.
blessing.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
See, look, that's why we come to the calls. That's why we come to the calls. So listen, I love that for you guys, man. Let me just share something with you guys real quick. Okay. The theme, if you guys did not notice, everywhere you're gonna go in OIC, you're gonna hear talk about recruiting. Um, Obviously, field directors and up equity partners, we've been having these conversations for expanding OIC. And this year, we're really, really drawing our line in the sand. We are not going to let anybody get out of this year without building, right? We're going to completely work on that philosophy. Whatever philosophies you're working with that don't allow you to recruit or that's not driving you to recruit, we want to change that for you, right? Because, Mary Grace started off her training today talking about the word recruit being classified as a nasty word. But we want to make it an attractive word for you, right? We want to make it a sexy word for you. We want to make it a word that gets you excited, okay? Because you cannot become wealthy alone. You cannot get wealthy alone. I don't care how dangerous your pen is. I don't care how well you can write a policy, okay? You will not become wealthy, okay? You can get rich on your pen. You can write $250,000, $500,000, 1 million, but you got to do it again next year. One of the reasons that Hans Augustine is, in OIC, he ain't hurting for money. You know why Hans Augustine came to OIC? Because he's hurting for time. Mary Grace talked about it earlier. She said, we thought we started a business and we were business owners, but come to find out the business owned us. See, I'm at a stage in my life, you guys, where I don't want any money that takes away from my time. All money ain't good money. And when I talk about time, I mean like where I'm a slave to the dollar. Okay? I'm not talking about the 30-minute conversations we have to get a $250,000, commission or $20,000 commission. I'm not talking about that, right? Though that's great time exchange for money, right? You have a 30-minute conversation here and you can commission thousands of dollars. It's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the traditional, IMO, jargon of buying leads, dialing all day, and that becoming your lifestyle as an agent. Okay. The true opportunity here in OIC, okay, is not this. Anybody can go sell a policy. That's not the opportunity that OIC is offering you. This is the opportunity that OIC is truly offering. Ask Brad Pham. Don't take it from me. When Brad, Mary Grace, and them got together as founders, they were excited to offer this. Every company is offering this. Every company gives you an opportunity to sell a policy for a commission. Yes? Yeah, right? Every IMO out there, you can hang your license and go sell a policy and make a commission. You can do that anywhere. What makes OIC different is this. You see this executive promotion chart, okay? This, you guys, should be hanging on your wall. This, you guys, should be what we're after. And I can't tell you what to do, but if this don't apply to you, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly, all right? But I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to the next builder of millionaires. I'm talking to the next builder of, agency. I'm talking to the person who's going to change hella lives, not just their own bank account. I'm talking to somebody with a big vision. I'm talking to somebody who's not afraid to be great. I'm talking to somebody who's sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm talking to somebody who is like really going after it, like it. Like whatever it is, that's what I'm after. This is what OIC has to offer. And if you don't have this hanging from your wall, you guys, okay, please print this out in your OIC back office. Laminate it. Become one with it. Okay? Because if you buy a car, okay, it's safe to say that you're interested in how far it can go. Right? If I buy a car, I gotta know how far this car can go. How far does this car called OIC go? How far, how wide, how deep can you go? Well, let's look at it. A lot of times people are after this number. Mary Grace said it this morning. Business director is the beginning of your business. It's not the end. This is where it starts. Okay. This is where it starts. This is why I write this down. You haven't truly onboarded until you become an associate. You are not onboarded properly by your business director until you become an associate. Until your BD gets you to associate, you haven't fully onboarded yet. Now, this is executive business director, 3 direct BDs, CEO business director, 6 directs, executive vice chairman, 9 BDs. When I say the kings and queens have not been crowned yet here, this is what I'm talking about. This whole right side of this chart is uncharted territory in OIC. Okay? And we all have the opportunity to be able to pioneer this. Senior exec, that's 12 direct BDs. It's projected to produce about 1.2 million in infinite base shot points. That's passive income. Chairman's Council, okay, 15 direct BDs. It's projected to do about 1.5 million. Senior executive chairman, okay, it's projected to do about 1.9 million, but that's 18 wide. That's 18 wide. So those of you who are interested in this conversation of building a financial legacy for your family, just understand that you have unlimited potential here. The reason that you always hear Hans say 18 agencies is because he understood the chart day one. He said, oh, I can go 18 wide. That's 18 agencies all over the country that's going to send me and my wife to Africa. And we ain't got to worry about when we coming back. Because every day, okay, we're going to wake up with more money in our account than when we went to sleep. You want to stay a little longer, Lamika? We can stay. It's all good. I delegated, a few meetings, a few appointments. We can stay. We didn't get to go to that other place that we was looking at going with the good food because we been, you know what I mean? You know how you go on vacation.
Try to speak to them, Mrs. Samad. Speak to them, please. Speak to them. Speak to them,
right?
please.
It's like, hey, we didn't really get to eat what we was trying to eat. Not, the other 2 spots didn't really check that box for me. Let's extend for like 5 more days. Matter of fact, let's check out of this hotel, go to another hotel, right? You upgrade the flights, I'm gonna upgrade the hotel. We ain't worried about nothing. Because we built agency. We built agency. And we bought back our time. The true reason that people build wealth is to buy back their time. This is not the biggest number on the this is not the biggest number, you guys, on the comp chart. This is right here, 14 and 1. 14. 14 is the biggest number on the comp plan. 14%. Why? Because I can go 18 wide at 14% and create a 252% contract. Okay? I can go 18 wide and create a 252% contract. 1% is the most important number on a contract because this is somebody else's 14%. And this represents the retention in your business. This represents the longevity in your business. This is the most important number in the contract. If I'm 6 levels deep, Mr. Ridley, right? You recruited me. I recruited Hans. Hans recruited Stephen Taylor. Stephen Taylor recruited Marlena Smith. And then Jen Falapapalangi, right? Now you're 6 business directors deep. Let's say Falapapalangi is at your 6th generation, but Marlena's here. She represents Marlena's 14%. And let's say Hans is here, right? She represents Hans 6%. And let's say if Stephen Taylor is here, she represents the 4%. Okay? So on and so forth. Right? So the 14% is the biggest number on the comp plan. 14 wide An 18 wide at 14% is a 252% contract. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. Our infinite contract. If you guys don't have this, take a picture of it. Our infinite contract. I trained on this in Houston, and I'll be honest with you, it was BDs in a room who never thought about this. It was BDs in a room who was looking like Georgia. Tell you, when I came back to the back and sat down, he was like, "Wow, man, these people like act like this new information." Because people suffer from a lack of vision, you guys. They don't suffer from a lack of money. They suffer from a lack of vision. Our infinite contract, we have a 610% contract in OIC. 610%. It's an infinite contract. Okay? Infinite contract. So if I go, Kim, 14% and I go 18 wide, that's 252. Then my second generation 18 wide, that's 108%. My third generation 18 wide, that's 72%. My fourth generation 18 wide, 3%, 54%. Fifth generation 36, 6, 18. Add it all together, that's a 540% contract on the back end. Would you rather override or get residual, Gabriella, on 70% on your clients' renewals, or would you rather get residual income at the capacity of 540% on entire agencies? See, you can get renewal income both ways. You can chase the clients and you can get your renewals. Yay, my renewals kicked in, right? I'm gonna be very honest with you. That's chump change to me. What them renewals look like? $50 here, $60 there. It's cool when you add them all up. But you guys could get renewals on entire agencies. 554% of contract available in the back office. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you guys because listen, this is the year, this is the month of expansion. Expansion, 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 expansion. All right. You guys want to hit equity and you guys want to earn a lot of equity, build a team. Build a team. Okay. We cannot get wealthy and grow wealth alone. All right. So with that said, I appreciate you guys. It's 11 o'clock. Happy Friday to everybody. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I hope you guys are happy in spirit. I hope you guys are fulfilled in spirit, right? I hope you guys are excited about your life, your future, okay? And your best days, you guys, I promise you, are ahead of you. Your best days are ahead of you and not behind you, right? And if you're happy, and if you're excited and if you're fulfilled, okay, share that with somebody else. All right. Be a blessing to somebody else. Share this opportunity with somebody else. All right. So, Mr. Ridley, you had your hand up?
Yes, sir. Could you give me a call when this is over, please?
Absolutely. I'll call you right now, brother. I
Okay,
actually
thank you.
have a quick meeting though with Miss Kimberly Howard, but I'll call you in the interim in transition. Okay.
Yeah, it'll take 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, you guys have a blessed day. I will see you guys at the top. Peace.
Thanks, Sonny.
Yes, sir.